Welcome to Dad's Wallet, where I help you save money and build lasting wealth for your family. Today we're going to talk about inflation, back to school savings, and how to pick the best house. In news today, everyone's talking about the Consumer Price Index. Now last month, everyone was talking about 9.1%, and consumer prices rose only 8.5% in July. Now this seems like still a large number, and it is, but it's a slight dip and it could be a positive trend. We've got a graph here where you're able to see the slight tick down. Now, if you look over the past year, we had a pretty steady low number of a percent change from a year prior, and that's greatly rose over the course of 2021 and 2022. Now, we talk about supply chain and all the different factors pouring into this, but if we can see it level off or go down, that means greater purchasing power and great news for your dollar in the future. Here's another piece of context, and it gives you a better view of inflation over time. This is from Visual Capitalist. There's lower volatility over the past 100 years. Now, this is important because it's better for long-term investing as it relates to changes in inflation over time. We want to see it steady out so that over the long term you can expect to get a more consistent return on your money. There's a 30-day challenge going on that we're halfway through. If you successfully completed this challenge, once you've done one or more of the following things: you've gone out to eat or ordered takeout 0 times for an entire week, learned to cook or tried to cook at least 3 new recipes, and shared one of your favorite meal recipes in the comments below. Now, this 30-day meal challenge is all about reducing your overall cost of food. I've got a buy this, not that tip for you. Save $10 when you buy $30 off select items for back to school on Amazon. This is a big deal if you're already going to be spending that money on some of those items. Great for families, especially if you're going to be buying in bulk and just want it shipped to your house. Heck, you could be on the beach searching on your phone for what your kids need and go ahead and fill up that cart. I got a link in the show notes to help you get that discount. Lately, I've been reading Bob Goff's book, Dream Big. Now, Bob Goff's book, Dream Big, helps you know what you want, why you want it, and why you're going after it. Here's a little blurb for you. Bob Goff, the New York Times best-selling author of Love Does and Everybody, Always, is on a mission to help people recapture the vision for their lives they dreamed about before fear started calling all the shots. He wants you to dream big. And after reading it, I gotta tell you, it's inspiring. It's a great way to either start or end your day. Every chapter is super digestible. If you've ever read Bob Goff, he is able to just tell you a story that gets you wrapped up in it, and 5 minutes later, you're ready to either read the next chapter or put down the book and tackle the task that you had before you. Now, I've got a few reactions I want to go through. These are all different finance influencers on TikTok. We're going to watch their video and show you some of my own thoughts.
Here are 3 things I would splurge on as soon as I become a millionaire. The first thing I would splurge on is a house cleaner.
Okay, right off the bat, a house cleaner is the first splurge item. I don't think you have to be a millionaire necessarily to have a house cleaner, but I know that it is something that only few people invest that money in. And if you've got a lot of kids and you got a big house, you know that time is precious, and maybe you don't have time to invest in that. Let's keep watching.
A cluttered house breeds a cluttered mind. So
I agree with that. Cluttered house, clean mind.
Definitely worth the value in my opinion.
The second thing I'd splurge on is a personal driver.
Have you ever had to drive for 3 hours?
For a personal driver, you're going to really need to have a personal driver. I mean, that could be a huge plus if you're maybe going from business to business, trying to sell, and you're getting that administrative work done in the meantime. But I think for 99.9% of people, a personal driver may be out of the realm of need or possibility.
Hours and think, man, I wish I could do other things while I'm driving. It's very hard and dangerous to be productive while
I agree
driving.
with that.
So a driver will make you safe and much more productive.
And lastly, the best splurge on here. This will save you time, this will save you stress, this will save you calories, this will save your relationship. I'm definitely going to splurge on a personal chef. What are some things that you would...
All right, so for a personal chef, this is one of those other things where, in big picture, it's good to know the value of your time. Maybe you're someone that can whip up a 5-minute meal and that's going to satisfy you and your family. That's great. But what's the value of your 5 minutes? Maybe for every hour of work, if you'd hired someone to mow your lawn or clean your house, maybe that's worth $5, $10, $15, $20 per hour. If you do the calculation and figure out what your value is for your own hours that you spend, and really compare the opportunity cost. What would you be spending your time doing instead of mowing the lawn, instead of cleaning the house? And really, if you look at that opportunity cost with your time, then you'll figure out what your true value is.
An organ for cheaper than $1,100 for 10 days. I asked around for ideas and I came.
Now I know it's expensive to rent a car,
and I did it,
especially these days with low supply.
I gotta share this with you. This saved me hundreds of dollars. Okay, first you go to undercovertourist.com. Go to discount tickets.
Interesting.
Go to movie tickets and click AMC theaters. Then you scroll down and you add the regular fountain drink ticket. You add one to your cart. Continue to cart. You scroll all the way down, add a car rental, save up to 50% on car. So for example, let's just look at a week in Denver right now. Search car deals. When I looked at the same week on other sites.
Okay, I see. So this is an add-on discount where if you go to this website, which is a great website to know about, undercovertourist.com, amazing if true, all around a great site to add to your list when travel hacking, if you're planning a trip for you or your family. And it seems like you have a 50% potential discount on a rental car as an add-on to other items that you can purchase on their site. So she found the cheapest item, a $5 soda at a movie theater, and then you can add on a 50% discount to a rental car as if that's your whole trip in a package. And so if that's true, they're offering 50% discounts. It's great to add that to the list when you're shopping around and planning a big trip. But if it's potentially more expensive, again, that's why we shop around for things like this. All right, here's the last video that I'm going to be reacting to, and you'll see Kevin O'Leary there. This is Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank, and I think this is going to be something where we see a response to it.
10% royalty.
I recognize this guy.
After I recoup the $700,000, and I get 5% of the company's equity today.
Respectfully, Mr. Wonderful, we're going to decline.
Welcome back to After the Take, where we look at what happened to companies after they appeared on Shark Tank. This is probably one of the coolest ones yet. This was a company called Doorbot that basically had a camera on your doorbell, which allowed you to see visitors on your phone. Anyway, he asked for...
All right, well, you may know how this one ends. This is Kevin O'Leary turning down an offer or getting turned down on an offer for $700,000 for a portion of this person's company, and it turns into the company that we know as Ring. And now Ring sold for $1 billion to Amazon. And I understand, and you can see in other videos where Mr. Wonderful explains his thinking that it was going to take maybe tens or hundreds of millions of dollars to scale this business, get it out into market, and get it in all the consumers' hands. And it was going to cost that much or more to really bring this business into its full potential. And so I think that this is one of the things that maybe the opportunity was lost on this. I know he's made a lot of money on other opportunities from this show, and well done for Alex Pesos for having a comparison of different Shark Tank things. Maybe that's an idea. Maybe I could do that. It's a good idea. So those are our 3 reactions for different TikTok influencers that I thought might bring value.
I'll make you an offer.
Are you searching for a new house? Are you afraid of getting stuck with too big of a mortgage or a rent payment? Do you want to know how to find the right house that fits your budget? This week, we unpack 3 steps to buying the right house for you, so you don't get stuck with a house that feels like a burden on your income. Here's the question of the week. Is this too much house? I believe we are within most safe parameters to buy and purchase this home, but I still feel nervous about this as it's obviously the biggest purchase of our lives. Here's their current financial situation. It's a married couple, 32 and 30 years old. The combined net income is $125,000 a year. The combined savings total the same, $125,000. Combined investments, ETFs, are $80,000. Retirement, they're both maxing out their Roth IRA and 401ks. They don't have any debt. They have excellent credit scores. And the house they're looking at is $300,000, They set aside the down payment, the cost and fees. 30-year fixed rate mortgage is what they're looking at. And with the rates that they calculated that day were $1,623 a month. Their combined take-home pay is $6,597 a month. So the question is this house a good fit for their budget, or are they overspending? Now, we've purchased 3 homes in the past 7 years since getting married. Each home has been an increase in value, but an overall decrease in the percentage of our take-home pay allocated towards housing. Shelter, along with utilities, food, and transportation, are the 4 essential components of your budget. I call them the 4 wheels of your car. It's the only essential category that can appreciate over time, but it's not the only asset that you have that can appreciate. For many families, it's going to be the largest investment that they make, but you need to be careful not to bite off more than you can chew. We got lucky with our first home. Not that there was a suitcase full of money hidden in the walls. It had a torn up crawl space, an old HVAC unit, a bad chimney, and every room was a different, bold color. We got lucky because of timing. This was 7 years ago, and we were a newly married couple basically just winging it. It'll be the best investment education I've ever received, to invest smart, invest early, and invest often. Being in the market was scary, but staying out of the market and renting during that time would have cost us more than we could have imagined. Buying a house is a big purchase. It's likely the biggest financial decision that you'll ever make. Your house can change your life for better or for worse. There are a lot of people with opinions that will make you want to borrow more money, spend more of your income, or just stay away from the market altogether. Having this set of guidelines will keep you from falling into a stressful situation that serves everyone else but your own goals. Here are 3 steps to buying the right house for you. Step 1, calculate your debt-to-income ratio. Your income is the amount of money in your paycheck each month after taxes. The debt is what you're going to be paying on credit card bills, car loans, student loans, etc. There's a lot of considerations, but the Federal Housing Administration sets 43% as a guideline for approving mortgages. This number is not to protect individuals as much as it is the whole housing market. The most typical rule is the 28-36 ratio. This allocates 28% of your income to your cost of housing and 36% of your income to your total cost of debt. Following this rule can help you maintain a sustainable budget and improve your credit score while you work off that debt. The most conservative route for calculating how much house you can afford is the Ramsey 25% rule. This allocates 25% of your take-home pay to your total cost of housing, including mortgage, fees, taxes, and insurance. Dave Ramsey also advocates for a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage and paying off your loan as quickly as possible to be completely debt-free. This is the most aggressive route to home ownership and could be beneficial depending on your relationship to debt. Your second step to buying the right house for you is to calculate your hidden costs of home ownership. Each of the debt-to-income ratios discussed should include your total cost of housing. That includes principal, interest, property taxes, home insurance, private mortgage insurance, and other fees like HOA. You should use online calculators to estimate your closing costs and utilities. All these variables can add up to an important value when you're calculating what you can afford. Your third step to buying the right house is for you to consider if you need to rent. Are you living and working in an area outside of what you can currently afford? Are you potentially going to move areas in the coming year or 2? How clearly of a picture do you have of what life will look like in 5 to 10 years from now? Currently, the cost to rent could be lower than the cost to own in 3/4 of the United States. If you're in a stage of life where you're unsure of where you'll work or live in a few years, it may be a better fit to rent. A friend of mine was unsure if they could own a $400,000 home to start with. They had their $80,000 20% down payment saved up. And with a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage at 5.5% interest rate, their monthly payment could be around $2,340. Now that's only principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and factoring in their HOA dues. To manage that payment, you need to be earning at least $9,360 a month to meet Ramsey's 25% rule. That's an annual take-home salary of just over $112,000. Now, that's not where they're currently at professionally. They asked me, how are people affording these prices? The answer is most people are not. They're spending a third or half of their take-home pay just to live there and can't afford any of their other goals or needs. They're house poor. If the numbers don't fit your dream home today, don't worry. You can look for a more affordable neighborhood or save up for a larger down payment to reduce your loan and your cost of housing month to month. Big purchases like this can have big implications on your future financial health. Follow our 3 steps to buying the right house for you, and you'll be starting out on the right foot for your family's largest purchase. I hope you enjoyed those 3 tips on the right way to find the right house for you. I hope that in this process of finding the right house, it is life-giving and not too stressful. But if you find yourself in a stressful place, remember that having all the right information is going to help alleviate that sense of urgency and provide the best case forward for you. Now, for your dad tip of the week, now's a great time to clean out those window wells, that area right outside the glass. This is a great time right before fall and is going to help your whole house feel a lot cleaner by taking care of one of those neglected areas. And to round things out, what does a baby computer call his father? Data.